Tony Khan can claim that AEW is where the best wrestle, but it certainly ain't where the viewers tune in, as he will need to go in for one of those childish bear hugs he performs on his wrestlers. Because guess what? TBS, baby. They're going to be pulling the plug. It's stagnant. They're going on our 700k. That's a fact, isn't it?
Aye, 700k I think is approaching inbound. Last 5 weeks. Best rating, 801,000, not good. 3 out of those 5 weeks have been under 800,000. The other 2 weeks were 800,000 on the dot and 801,000. So, ain't big numbers, ain't big business, despite their show last month, bringing in Mercedes Moné, bringing in Okada, bringing in Will Ospreay. These game changers, these supposed people that were supposed to take AEW to the next level, take AEW to the next heights, the people that Tony Khan has spent millions on, and they forget about bringing in viewers, forget about improving ratings. They can't even keep the low ratings that they already had. So since we've seen Ospreay, Mercedes Moné, and Okada come in, like the ratings have been downhill for 5 consecutive shows now, and we haven't had a rating above 801,000. It's piss poor from AEW. Gone are the days of AEW hitting 1 million viewers. Hell, they haven't even hit 900,000 since the turn of 2024. So, I mean, we speculate sometimes on this channel, will AEW, hit 1 million again? What will it take for them to hit 1 million again? I mean, the way things are going, I think we're going to have to change that question and ask a different question. Will they ever hit 900,000 again? Because it seems like they're just going lower and lower and lower, and you're almost expecting them to go under 700 now before you expect them to go above 8. It's piss poor for AEW. I think they've pretty much signed anybody with a half relevant name that they can. I don't see many more game changers being out there. They had a chance with CM Punk. They messed that up. Punk's whole run in AEW wasn't great. And then the way he went out was also pretty embarrassing. Not good. Tony Khan deciding that the Young Bucks, the Elite, were more important, were the better option to keep around than CM Punk, a guy that has pretty much done everything in WWE apart from main event or WrestleMania, yet he decided to keep 2 backyard indie hall wrestlers in the Young Bucks that have never fucking drew a dime. And it is what it is, but let's dive into this rating then. So this week, AEW did come in, probably should have said this already, but they came in at 752,000 viewers with a demographic of 0.23. AEW used to turn their attentions to the demo rating whenever the viewership wasn't that great. Whenever they'd get a low viewership, they would brag about the demo and claim that the demo was truly the only thing that matters. I think there was a few weeks where they were bragging about beating Raw in the demo as well, but those days are long gone. They can't even brag about the demo anymore because the demo is that poor. So yeah, 752,000 viewers, 0.23 in the 18 to 49 demo. The numbers are going down, 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 and they're just lucky that NXT, in my opinion, has been probably the worst it's been in years over the past 6 months, or else they would be behind NXT as well. But unfortunately right now, NXT's got 2 really boring, uninteresting champions. There's just not a lot happening on that brand, but mark my words, if they started putting some of the main eventers for the main roster back on NXT would be smoking Dynamite now. Wouldn't even be close. So yeah, I think Tony Khan right now is lucky. He's got 3 shows. He's got another Ring of Honor show. He's brought in all these Japanese guys. They just aren't working. They've never worked, Japanese guys, and they've never drawn a dime. Now, there's a reason why the most successful company in wrestling history, WWE, where's the Japanese main eventers in that company? Look at WCW when they were thriving. Where was the Japanese guys having hard-hitting, strong-style matches when WCW were going 83 weeks beating Monday Night Raw? You didn't get Japanese guys, you got the fucking NWO. So, it is what it is. Tony Khan, he quite clearly hasn't got a clue. And it's sad because the amount of money he's got behind him, if he was willing to give up power, give up control, not be an egomaniac, and allow somebody or a group of people that actually know what they're doing to take over and take charge, AEW could be, a rival for WWE. They could be a good number 2. It's not going to happen overnight, but with the right people in charge and the money they've got to spend, AEW Dynamite could have been a viable wrestling company. They could have been a worthy number 2 to WWE, but right now, man, they're nothing but a joke. I mean, they're probably closer to TNA than they are to WWE, and that's sad considering TNA is fucking dreadful.
Yeah, the only thing keeping this rating afloat from being like groundbreakingly worse is Big Bang Theory every week. I mean, it starts at 933,000, and then it's just downtown for there. And without the Big Bang Theory, you've seriously got to question how much lower it would be. Like, do you think it would actually be under 700,000? I mean, 752, it'd be near enough.
Easily?
Yeah, and that's...
Easily?
That's shocking. I mean, that's...
Because that first quarter's prepping up the... It's prepping up the rating.
I've never seen a company, though, that just hires people for Japan. Like, see, when wrestling was good, they didn't just constantly wheel out new guys, because...
You wouldn't have cared about them. You just, it wouldn't matter who they were.
Yeah, you wouldn't have cared.
You need to build characters up.
Yeah, no, that's what it is, though. You can't just constantly go into new companies and, like... But I mean, I think in the 90s, you were spoiled to a degree, because there was free companies, and if you wanted to, you could go and get loads of people, but if you look at the Ruthless Aggression era... It's not like every 2 weeks they brought someone in new to the brands.
Well, it's the Attitude Era, and Austin McMahon's the big hot rivalry, and Raw starts, and instead of starting with Austin coming out, or the corporation coming out, they start with Nakakika Hoto coming from Japan to take on some other guy in a 15-minute match.
That great guy.
The crowd have been fucking booing the shit. Like, the ratings have been well down. They're like, what's this crap? Who's this bum? Who's this guy from Japan that we've never seen or we don't care about or we have no reason to care about? So, I mean, Tony Khan, he just needs to fucking sort it out. It's no good. Now, I mean, a small bit of good news for him is that the rating this week is actually up 1%, but it's up 5,000. It's up 5,000 from last week's 747, so, I mean, it's nothing to shout home about.
And I believe there's no competition either, so...
Yeah, it's nothing to celebrate. There was just nothing really...
Well, you know what, actually, let's take it back. It is something to celebrate, because come Saturday, there'll be nothing to celebrate in the rating department.
I mean, Collision, I mean, I don't get it. They've cancelled Collision multiple weeks
For
this year.
Before.
Fuck, if you're going to cancel it, I think this week would be the week to do it. This episode, though, of AEW up against the last 4 weeks is down 4%, so the average rating for the last 4 weeks is 781,000. And this one is, quite a bit below that, so it's below the average as well. It's kind of shocking how it's below the average when the last 5 weeks have been shit, but like I said, the best rating in 5 weeks is 801,000, and that was big business, big title match, Mercedes Moné's debut. I mean, what is Mercedes Moné can talk about being worth the money, and like, what's she done since coming in? Like, where's that initial boost? Yeah, the video that they uploaded, it got 1 million views, but what's happened since then?
But see, that's just the way Tony Khan's hyped her up, though. Like, the way you'd be led to believe is that, oh, she's going to get them firing. People believing that she's going to get them above 1 million. See, she could be the best women's wrestler of all time, right? Or there's not many people that could consistently get AEW back into that sort of category.
I think
they let one guy slip through the fingers, by the way, but
I think the quarterly ratings are that low, and that, like, towards the end of the show, that to get into 1 million, you need the first hour would need to, like, well overperform the second hour, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah, just to quote Eric Bischoff, he predicted that Aew Dynamite is going to go below 700,000 before May 15th, which is just over a month away, so we're looking at about, 40 days? Is that a fair estimation for Easy, Uncle Eric?
I'd say so, because, I mean, them going under 800,000 didn't really seem like... It's happened before, but, it didn't seem like it was... It was unthinkable for Tony Khan.
It went under 800,000 while hyping up big-ass, super shows.
Yeah, but now we've already... Now we're not even talking 800,000, we're talking 750, so we're talking half. We're talking, 50 off that. All he needs is another 50. I think it could. I don't think it will. I think it'll probably remain above 700 for the next month, but I do think we'll see a lower rating than what we got last week, which was 747. But it depends. Anyway, these ratings are down the toilet, guys, and AEW is down the toilet. Edge can come out and rant and cut a promo and say this is game-changing and that AEW is the place to be and all this, but, I mean, it's not. It's really fucking not.
And it highlights Punk's issue, though, where they're guaranteed their money. Like, it doesn't actually matter the effect of the ratings. It doesn't matter anything to do with, pay-per-view buys. They're all going to get their money.
They're all going to get the money, but I tell you what, they got nobody watching it, and Tony Khan, how much money has he actually wasted? Kind of sad, guys. Anyway, full ratings breakdown coming soon. We'll go through the quarters, we'll see what drew and we'll see what didn't draw, but it's predictable. We know that the opening quarter is going to be the best. It'll be somewhere in the 900 mark, mid 900 mark territory, and after that, we'll just probably see the ratings drop little by little, and then by the time we get to the end of the show, you know, you're looking at like 600,000 people remaining watching. So, I mean, we're getting to the stage where it's almost like half the people are left watching by the time you get to the end. That's shocking. But we'll see what happens, guys. We'll catch you in that one. Till then, peace.